my instructions, we will open fire. Your passenger is carrying $2 million in stolen, uncut diamonds.
True.
Go ahead. Ask him.
The deal was no questions asked.
Now, I will count backwards from 10, and then you will slow your vehicle.
Is it true?
And we will escort you to the side of the road. Nod your head if you understand me.
Please.
I'm not getting killed for your merchandise.
Listen to me.
We're going to give them what they want.
10.
You don't go through customs with 2 million in diamonds
9.
in your suitcase.
8.
I swallow them.
7.
The diamonds are inside of me.
6.
They will cut me wide open.
5.
Please,
4.
don't stop.
3.
If you stop, you might as well kill me yourself.
1.
Please.
Slow down.
No, oh, no.
Slow down. Now.
Buckle up.
Maybe I need to put on my headphones.
Put on your cans, man.
I heard that they got a place over there that you could just sing into a can, and they'll put it on a record for you. I reckon we're the Soggy Bottom Boys.
In constant sorrow.
10 seconds for Harambe.
Welcome, everybody, to the Drop Culture Podcast. We're that podcast that picks up that piece of pop culture that you forgot about or missed, shines it up real nice, and crams it in your ear holes.
That's right.
I'm Dan.
I'm Brock.
And today we're going to get into a little series of films. Brock, were you familiar with this before we did it?
Not at all.
It's called The Hire.
Really good, though.
It is really good. Kind of
Yes.
fun, right?
Really good. When you add them all up, it might be 80 minutes, maybe
about.
85, 80, 86. Somewhere around there, because they're all supposed to be about 10 minutes long.
Absolutely.
Now, what is The Hire, Dan?
The Hire is a set of small films made by BMW Films, basically as a long-form commercial.
Wow.
But they all have, what's really cool about them is Clive Owen plays the driver in all of them.
Yeah.
And he's the kind of guy that drives for money, you know, like seems like he gets like contracts and
Like the Transporter.
yeah, kind of.
And he is driving a BMW, too. The
Well,
Transporter was, too, wasn't he? Like
I
a 7 Series or
Yeah,
something
I'm not
crazy.
familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it, but I don't remember. What we'll notice in these is like in the first season of movies that came out, they were all different ones. But it was all the same BMW in the second season.
Yes.
And it was the BMW they were giving away in a contest,
Yeah.
which we'll get into a little bit. But yeah, so this was kind of weird. Like 2001, they just started dropping these on their BMW Films website. And what was really cool about it is they had a different director for every episode.
And they weren't just like, Alan Smithies.
No.
They were actually like real deal, like awesome, very influential directors. And then subsequently too, I think other car manufacturers started getting other directors like that too, prolific guys, to do commercials for like Nissan and stuff like that. So
I know Mini Cooper, the
Yes.
Mini brand, had like a more Starsky and Hutch style show.
it was
That they did as more comedy style.
yeah,
I've never seen it, but it was like Cooper and something. You know,
yeah,
like,
yeah, Starsky and Cooper.
You're right.
Yeah,
But no, this was a little more serious. Obviously, most of it there were some little lighthearted parts, but
it was the interpretation of the directors that made it either dramatic or like dramatic cool or like, art house. So it was really cool to have so many different people. There's some directors that I've never heard of course, but
sure,
obviously probably seen their movies at some point. But Clive Owen being the titular character, the driver, and just having that kind of way about him, it was totally his role, which was really cool.
100%.
So, yeah, it started in 2001, That is crazy how long ago that was. And you think about at the time the internet stock like dropped out, right? And so this was kind of like everybody has the internet now. No longer is everybody really living off the AOL discs.
Right.
It's becoming more prevalent to spend more time on the internet. So especially 2001, it just really started going from there. Then you consider getting it wherever you move to. You're like, oh, can we get internet?
Exactly.
So, but everything about these was 100% film stock, everything, you know. The DOP was really good on all of these. All of the producers, too. Most of the people produce most of the stuff.
Yeah, most of the producers were like David Fincher.
Yes. Produce. What I meant to say was they went to,
Yeah.
directing.
Yeah, David Fincher. We got Ridley Scott was in there. Tony Scott. They were both, or all three producers. Yeah, so cool stuff. I think Fincher was a producer in the first season, and then Ridley and Tony Scott came in the second season.
Yeah.
In the 2002 ones.
Yeah.
Which was really weird. Like I watched all these, and then of course there's one that was done like 14 years later.
14, 15, yeah.
Yeah, in 2016.
Yeah.
And so yeah, really, really crazy. But the movie's reviewed over 11 million times in 4 months. Kind of give you an idea. Like BMW saw an increase in their sales from 12%
Jeez.
from the previous year. So obviously it was working. You know what I mean?
Effective.
Yeah.
Effective marketing campaign.
Absolutely.
But they put it in the context of that early 2000s, late 90s kind of a, you know, spy, you know, action packed everything.
Exactly.
And then, you know, I mean, as they went, even 2002, there were still big directors that were doing stuff on this, for the second season.
Oh yeah. Tons.
The first season was a little bit more subdued, which, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. You want to like just go through the episodes? Like
Sure. Okay. So like the first one came out in April of that year and it was Ambush. So
John Frankenheimer directed?
Yeah, John Frankenheimer. His big movie wasn't it The Manchurian Candidate?
He did that. He did The Manchurian Candidate. He did Birdman of Alcatraz.
Yes.
He did some other movies that I don't know.
But it's very stylish.
French Connection 2.
Oh, yeah. Part 2.
Didn't even know there was a part 2.
Yeah, I think there's like 3, maybe. They bled into Popeye Doyle. Is that what his name was? Popeye? It's been a long time. Yeah. But no, yeah. So basically you get to see this dude driving. And that's all he does, really. Yep. And they get into this really awesome chase.
So he's got this guy with him. Just an old dude. And he's paid him to take him somewhere. We don't know where. But during the, like you said, all of a sudden there's like people with guns and coming after him, and come to find out he has these diamonds, and he says, "No, I swallowed them. So if you pull over, they're going to kill me.
They're going to gut me."
You know, and he was saying, "Well, it's not part of the contract, whatever."
Yeah. He was being the, you know, no, I'm not doing any extra. But then, you know, I thought was really awesome, and this was just the one thing that really caught me, was they had him tuned to the radio station.
Yeah.
On his BMW, you know, and he talked through it, and I was like, crazy. Why hasn't anybody ever thought of that? It's like they have an FM transmitter.
Right.
You know, that's awesome. And they even counted down, and he put it on. He's like, "Hi, you need to pull over." Thank you. But yeah, all the car stunts were awesome.
They were all really good.
He was doing 140 at one time.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really
Hit
cool.
the brakes and let them fly right by.
Right. Right. So if you look at the way that these were made too, it shows off the features of the car.
Well, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So they're doing like 140 and it's handling great. You can't hear no outside road noise. There's just so many things that it's like, oh man, I couldn't even feel that.
I need a BMW.
Look at all of that. It doesn't even move when it's screeching, you know, a lot of tire screeches, you know. Flips and swirls and shit like that, and yeah,
we'll get into one of these episodes. It's like a dance in this car too, and it was insane.
Yeah, very good
like,
driving. Yeah,
whoa.
Yeah.
Artsy fartsy.
Yeah, no, all of it really did. This one kind of established it as being that, I don't know, ultimate badass type of a dude. You know,
he's smart too. I mean, he backs up to where those in this episode, where he backs up to where those
he like
earth
twirls in
movers
there,
are, or whatever, and
he turns off his light. He's like, wait.
Right.
And then they don't see it coming. They're like, no, because he busted out their headlights.
Right.
Maybe he thought in advance that there was more construction up ahead, and he was like, I'm going to get him.
Right. I don't know. Yeah. Worked out.
Yeah, but then he drops him off, and he's like, let me ask you a question.
Did you really swallow those diamonds? And he just...
he's a...
And then he drives away, and that's the first episode.
That's number 1.
Yep.
And, okay, so part 2 is directed by Ang Lee. It's called The Chosen or Chosen.
Yeah, Chosen.
There's not that many those, so it's Chosen. And I think that was Ang Lee's kid, too.
Yeah, Mason Lee.
Yeah. So this one, I guess he's picking up the Chosen one at some seedy dock area.
Yeah.
You know, and people pull up and he's like, go.
Well, and he gives them that gift first.
Yeah.
Right?
He's like, don't open it.
And he goes to open, he's like, not yet. Yeah, don't open it yet.
Wait till later.
Yeah.
So then, so he gets in that pretty awesome, like, car chase with that one. This is the dance one too, right?
Yeah.
Where they're just twirling and they're
tell
going.
Ang Lee's the director.
Yeah, it's very
what
balletic.
Yes.
Ballet-like. Ballet. Is that even a word?
I don't know, but we'll go with it. You just made up a word. Balletic.
Balletic.
How balletic are you?
Well, I mean, he drives like perfect. I mean, he's got all they're firing through the car, everything like that. You would think at this point he would probably have a bulletproof car, but no. They're just showing the safety features again.
It's just a BMW.
Yeah. They're showing those safety features.
It's just a stock BMW. Why would you need anything else?
Every one of these has the brake thing in common where they slam on the brakes. So you're like, damn, good brakes.
Yep.
Good shocks. You know, it could take a jump. But yeah, so he gets all the way to the new place.
Yeah, he's taking him to like a holy man.
We don't know that.
I mean, as we find out.
Yeah. And the holy man answers the door. So it's like, you know, the other pope or something. And he's like, refuses to let go of his hand, gives him the motion, like, look at his boots. Yeah. And the dude's wearing cowboy boots in his monk outfit. Yeah. Obviously, he's not a real monk.
But he still lets him go with him.
Mm-hmm. Because he wants to come back around and be like the savior.
The savior.
Yeah, but then he does, and because he's injecting him with something weird.
He's getting ready to, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the reanimator serum.
Yeah.
He was green and glowing.
He's like basically telling him how he's going to kill him.
Yeah, this is part of your initiation. He's like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm the chosen. So yeah, he saves him, and then he opens up the little box at the end while he gets back into his quiet BMW car. He opens it up, and it's a Hulk Band-Aid. And he's like, what is this? Oh, shit. And he touches his ear.
From where he got grazed by the bullet?
Yes. He didn't even realize he got grazed by the bullet, but
that's right.
The Chosen already knew.
Well, awesome that it was an Incredible Hulk Band-Aid, considering what movie was getting ready to come out around that time.
Exactly. Right?
Incredible Hulk.
Starring another lookalike, Eric Bana.
Yes.
But so that was the Ang Lee one. Then you got The Follow. Now, The Follow had more prominent actors than it did the director, which again I don't really know because the director of this one was Wong Kar-wai.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I didn't do enough work, I guess.
Yeah, well,
he was a Hong Kong cinema guy.
Yeah, so you know, of course, with a lot of the stuff that comes out of the Hong Kong cinema from Wu, you know, he's kind of created a precedence over there to be very action packed.
Right.
A lot of people like that stuff. This one was no different. I mean, this one was way different from what I remember. And
this one got a lot of accolades actually at the time when it came out.
Because it was basically the so what happens in it?
So basically, our driver Clive Owen gets hired to spy on this actor's wife, and that actor's Mickey Rourke.
Yeah,
and Forrest Whitaker's like his manager, I believe, Mickey Rourke's manager. And he starts following her, basically doing his job. And you kind of learn that through like the interaction, Mickey Rourke's kind of a douchebag.
He hasn't gone full pirate yet either in his outfit.
No, not
I mean,
yet.
he still looks decent, you know.
But he starts learning more about her life, you know. Finds out that she's fleeing the country and that, you know, she's returning to her mom and all that. But what you really notice is the black eye. Right. What I like about this is when he's like at the bar and she's at the bar and he's explaining all the things you do when you're following somebody.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what he does through this whole episode.
Yeah.
But
Not
then
to get too close.
Yeah. But then at the end, of course, you know, he goes back and gives Forrest Whitaker the money back and says, don't ever call me again.
Yeah. So he's a good man.
Yeah. So you find out a little more about the character of the driver.
Yeah. He's
not just
more-
doing anything for money.
Right. Right. So he's kind of like still a badass, but there's no awesome car chase scenes or really anything in this one.
Just some good driving, a little good driving in there.
He was, you know, because it can take you off road as well as on the road.
Yes,
because of the comfort factor. So the next one,
I actually love this one.
Yeah, this one was pretty awesome because it was not whimsical, but it was still.
It wasn't as
funny.
serious.
Yeah.
of an episode for sure. There were no guns.
This one's called Star.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the Guy Ritchie directed episode, of course, starring his wife, and I don't know if that's his current wife, but
no, at the time I think
for sure
I think
they
it
were
was,
married at the time. Madonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you got to do is mention Madonna in a movie or a song, and she marries you. It's weird. Like, because he mentioned Madonna in, or especially Lucky Star, in with Bullet Tooth Tony's like whole entrance on Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and then you know a couple years later they were married.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he was just throwing that rod out there.
Going fishing.
Going fishing. But yeah, so it's a bitchy ass celebrity. She gets into the back and she's just being a bitch the whole time because he even explains
Well,
it.
like there's a car waiting for her, right? And he's like another car waiting for her, I guess, but not.
Yeah.
It was weird. I didn't really understand that. Like, was he waiting for another job, or was he there because like they knew there might need to be another alternative?
But he does say, you know, I want you to show her the town. You know,
like we discussed.
Yeah, like we discussed.
But when she gets in, he's like, "I'm not your." You know,
yeah,
he gives her the shit.
Yeah.
Which is cool because she's obviously, you know, like this big star, can get whatever she wants. She obviously has that attitude. She's kind of bitchy.
I want my coffee.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so, you know, and that's when you finally see him kind of have a little fun because he's like, okay.
You want to get there fast? Let's go.
And he's just throwing her all around the back seat.
Big time, too.
Like crazy.
Like she doesn't even have time to put on her seatbelt.
Nope.
One time she ends up in the front, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And then he knocks her to the back. And she's just going everywhere. Of course, she has her coffee somewhere. But yeah, he answers the phone while they're driving, too. Just like, ha, ha, ha. And then he literally pulls in front of the paparazzi.
He does that cool 180 spin into it, and the door kicks open, and she flies out,
lands on her back, and she's got a huge, because all of the paparazzi are like, but she's got a huge giant coffee stain right on her crotch.
Yep.
So everybody thinks she's peed herself. So he's like, yeah, and he just drives away.
And that's the end of that one. But that's a fun ride.
Yeah.
Through that one, actually, I enjoyed
It very
that one.
well cut together. Yeah. Oh, like a Guy Ritchie movie, you know. I mean, just very well edited, pace wise.
Right.
Put you in it for that 10 minutes. Now, this is the one that I didn't watch, Powder Keg.
Okay.
But this one has Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, he plays a like a war journalist.
Yes.
Like photographer or something. And so basically, like the driver goes to pick him up. Like he's hired by the UN, I think. And they talk a lot about his regrets, I guess, of not being able to help everybody that he took pictures of, things like that. You know, and I even remember the driver's like, yeah, but your work helped a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
So there's a little more one-on-one interaction, I'd say, than we've had in the past with the driver. You know,
that's
a little more conversation.
I somehow missed it after I watched all of these last night. So,
but yeah, so they get stopped. Anyways, they go on, and basically he tells them like, please take these, you know, my dog tags to my mom. I thought he gave him some. Oh, the pictures that they needed for the UN for whatever it was they were going after.
Oh, it was the for the New York Times or something like that, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
like
a reporter for that.
Yeah,
so
that's what it was.
He gets so he takes the Pulitzer
after he posthumously.
Yeah. because he dies in a hail of bullets or something like that, right?
So they stop him. These like guards stop him, and the dude just starts taking pictures. Like he's all laying down, all jacked up because he's had a bullet in him already. You know, like he's wounded.
Yeah, he's already there.
And the driver's he's like, stop. You know what I mean? And then the guy pulls the gun and shoots him.
So then he takes the stuff to his mom, and isn't it his dog tags, and then the Pulitzer, but yet his mom is blind.
Was she blind?
I think so. I think that's what it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because she holds the dog tags and like
feels them.
Like yeah. But yeah, it was really good, intense. It was. It reminded me of. I don't know how I could explain the filming. It was a very kind of foreign film. Like, you know, when they're in, or like when a film shows you like we're in Baghdad or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or, you know what I mean? But it was good. It was good.
Yeah. Well, the director is the guy that directed The Revenant.
Well, there you go.
And
he does pretty good stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got a very, big vision, you know what I mean, for most of what he does. So, yeah, I'm going to have to finish that one. But that was the finale for season 1.
It was.
And he was driving the BMW X5 3.0.
Yeah, there you go.
He was driving the M5 and the one before, and then he had the Z3 Roadster, and then also the 540, the 740, which those, of course, if you know BMWs, you know the bigger the number, the bigger the class. Right. Yeah, bigger the size.
Unless you're talking about next year's car, which is the BMW Z4.
Mm-hmm. And the Z4 is that's like a James Bond vehicle right there, you know. So yeah, that was a big hit, you know, especially this really bringing that internet traffic and getting people to raise sales. So, you know, at this point, the marketers were like, damn, we're making money on this shit.
Well, they won an award at Cannes too.
Yeah. It was the follow was like a big deal. And Forrest Whitaker, didn't he put the kibosh on anybody ever releasing it?
On DVD. So they were so weird. The only way that they had his consent was if they just showed it on the internet.
Right.
So when they packaged it with the DVD, they couldn't put the follow in there. So they put a link to where you could just watch it online.
Right. That's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that was kind of like, I don't know if it was like foresight or something for him, or to make it a little bit more exclusive. You know, he's like, hey, I did this little thing right here, but I want people that really want to watch it to look for it.
Right.
You know, that was pretty cool. I mean, they were all good in that. Yeah.
And they did make, I think, 2 or 3 different DVD releases of this, like down the road,
where you could get at the BMW dealerships.
Yeah, the BMW dealership used to give them out, but they ran out pretty quick, they said.
Oh yeah. And then because at the very end of it, we'll talk about where they were at on that repeat. But season 2, this is the more Hong Kong style, I guess.
This is John Woo directing, so yeah.
Yes.
100% it is.
He's working for the FBI, which is weird. But John Woo's camera work is fantastic too.
100%.
The way that he pulls up, you know, with his kind of like, you know, beige suit on, you know, he's in a convertible and he sees the dudes coming. At first I was like, he just saw those people. Is he with them? So some dude's like threatening, you know, to kill somebody, you know, if he doesn't get $5 million or some crap like that.
Yeah, it's a really specific number. It's $5,088,042.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so yeah, he shows up because he's supposed to deliver the money. He's hired basically to deliver the money.
Yeah.
And basically the guy's like, take all the money and burn it, put it on this grill, you know, because he doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
So I should have gone crazy a lot sooner.
Yeah, I got all this money.
Because he's like Bob's Burger Dude or something like that. Like he's a burger guy.
Right. And he says, verify the number. And he's like, not like that. Write it down.
Yeah.
And that comes into play a little bit later. Because he has a hostage, we know, like pretty quickly. And it's a CEO for a company.
Yeah, he's like, say hi to your savior. That dude's been on a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
Where he's shaking.
Yeah. But and it's so strange that it's so like the dude puts in one bullet, and of course they do the John Woo stuff where they're showing the bullet twirl, like the whatever you call it, the chamber or whatnot.
Sure.
And then the wheels are spinning and it kind of puts you in there. So he eventually wins.
Right.
He wins, whatever you call it, Russian roulette.
Yes.
In front of all the other cops. So yeah, then the home dude's like looking for her. He's like, screw this, I'm going.
But he realized, he said, you got her life in, or something about the life being in your hands.
He's quick too. He's smart.
Yeah.
So he's like, do.
And puts in the number he wrote down into the phone, and of course it's to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in the trunk of a car that's taking a swim.
So they had to ping
Yes.
the cell phone, the flip phone.
Yeah, as they did.
That's how they worked back in the day. They could ping the cell phone off the towers. So they're like, there's 2 metal bridges. Oh my God. Where are we going to go?
And then he sees the little Jack from Jack in the Box going
Yes,
down.
yes.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Jack saved somebody. Everybody else he killed with his food, but yay, he saved that girl.
He saved her. But then we come to find out after he does save her that isn't she like playing the other dude?
Well, she's like his lover, and like, man, she's like, I was always
It was only sex.
It was always me, you know, blah, 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 blah. So she's like a terrible person, too.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And then, of course, so that's kind of a weird spot, too, to put him in, even though he inadvertently saved somebody that was really the bad person.
Right.
The dude dies, too. He's like, beep.
Well, he wasn't a good person either, I don't think.
No.
He was probably once a good person.
But she corrupted him. You never know.
Women's.
Those women's. So the next one is Ticker. I like this one because, for one, I am a big fan of Joe Carnahan.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this one was that washed out, awesome looking picture. Definitely they're in Los Angeles somewhere. You know what I mean? Driving through the hills or something.
Right.
They're in Marin County.
I thought
or
they
something.
were like in another country.
Yeah, me too for a while. But
I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was like L.A.
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, Don Cheadle and F. Murray Abraham.
Yes.
So they're meeting at a bus terminal or something like that. He's like, oh, well, I'll make sure that you got this. And it's like, when are you going to put your life on the line for somebody? You know what I mean? It's all like, very, very A-teamish. Cause they really, I mean.
They get attacked by a helicopter.
Yeah.
And then that's when like the bullet comes through and hits the briefcase.
Yeah, it's weird.
And there's like some ooze coming out of it, the secret of the ooze.
It's like weird fluid
Don
too.
Cheadle, of course, you know,
Yeah.
is the main guy there.
Plus his gas tank is hit. Because it's dripping gas behind him, right? And at one point he's like, I only got enough gas to make it
Oh
there.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
But they light the gas on fire when they shoot at it, and it just creates a little trail. I was hoping it was going to go the whole time. You know what I mean? Yeah, but he even creates a dust devil,
right.
and ditches the helicopter
And he won't tell him what's in the case the whole time.
until the very end.
Yep.
And then he makes him the person in charge, puts the handcuffs on him.
Yep.
He's like, there you go.
And basically it's like a heart
Mm-hmm.
for a foreign leader.
Just like a badass.
Yeah, like
you know?
good for the people, you
Yeah.
know, and if he dies, then like the other person takes over and he's a total douche.
Yeah.
But what I thought was cool was like a lot of the people that you saw that were agents
Yeah.
were like Ray Liotta,
Robert Patrick.
yeah, absolutely.
Dennis Haysbert.
Yes.
Ooh, come on, the Allstate dude. For real.
But for real, yeah, so good stuff there though. I thought that was a really good one. A lot of good driving and a lot of bullets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bullets. in
Yeah,
this
they were
one.
really like punishing everything.
Yeah.
It was just pretty awesome. Carnahan always does a good job with the action part of it.
Absolutely.
This next one probably has to be the best one.
It's my favorite for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, for obvious reasons. There's like a ton of reasons why.
Yeah. This one's called Beat the Devil, directed by Tony Scott. Wow. I mean, James Brown is James Brown in this, and he's talking about selling his soul to the devil.
Yeah, so basically he hires the driver to drive him to the devil in Las Vegas
Yes.
to renegotiate his contract because he's getting old. He's aging.
Yeah.
What? And I think what's awesome is when we get there, we find out that the devil is Gary Oldman.
Yes. So he's almost kind of like the dude he played in Tony Scott's other movie, Drexel.
Yes.
But he's the devil Drexel. He's like a mix between Mick Jagger and Drexel.
Yes.
For real.
And then who was his minion? Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. Wow. No way. Like he shows up and it's his driver.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like playing at the crossroads, except for this time he's playing with a driver instead.
Right.
It's like, I guess, even back in the early part of the episode, they show James Brown getting picked up by some dude and he's in the back seat. So it's like a driver thing. He's
Right.
like, I know how to beat him. I'm James Brown, man. It's hard to be James Brown.
Well, we even get a good James Brown performance in there.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's up on the, like, it's just chaos.
Where does Gary Oldman come up with these characters? It's so weird. It's like all of a sudden he's like in a wheelchair pulling up. He's like, hey, I'm eating oranges. Motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's just weird, crazy, but badass. I mean, and that
sure.
the way Tony Scott directs his stuff, it's so, again, all over the place.
Absolutely.
But it brings you into this action. But what does James Brown want to do?
He wants to not be aged. He wants to renegotiate. If he wins, he gets his youth back, basically.
Yeah.
And then I think if he loses, doesn't he get the driver's soul or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, before they go in, doesn't he say something like, hey, man, whatever said to you, don't pay attention.
Just go with it.
Yeah, just go with it, man. And yeah, he goes in there and he puts his driver's soul on the line.
All right.
Asshole. Dude doesn't even know him. He's like, you better be good, man.
But it's a pretty good race.
They raced the strip at dawn.
Yeah.
And they ended a train track somehow.
Yep. I don't know how that works because I don't know that much about it. I've only been to Vegas like a couple times.
Right.
But
does the strip end in a train? I don't know.
I don't know, but he swerves around the train and they hit the train.
I don't think they hit it. I think they like flipped before it.
No, because it explodes.
Yeah, it explodes, but the car's like intact whenever it goes over the train.
It's the
weird.
devil's car.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well,
It's a Pontiac Firebird. Come on.
Pretty awesome. And it has the blowers on the top.
Flames.
And yeah. That was awesome. It was an awesome movie because at the very end, again, you get some dude.
The driver drives away and we see that James Brown is now
young again. He does the splits. He like
because he even says, he goes, I can't do the splits anymore.
It's hard being a James Brown.
And then we get the neighbor calling up for them disturbing him doing his Bible studies.
And that is none other than
Marilyn Manson.
That's right. That guy's weird. Even saying it like that guy's weird, man.
Right?
He's like, what? And listen to the noise that comes out of that place. So I didn't ever really watch any of the subplot ones.
I didn't either.
But
those were made by somebody else, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was basically some dude hunting the driver or something. I don't know.
But they were the ones that had the clues in them.
Yes.
So they released these subplot movies. They were like a regular camera you would own, you know, that kind of a deal. Inside, like all these were clues. Like there was I think an email address that they could email, a couple websites, like throughout all these, and then people that found the clues. Like there's only 250 people, I think it was, out of everybody that ever figured out the clues and how that worked. But if they followed it all the way, they got to a drawing for a brand new Z4.
Yeah, it was a 2003, right?
Yeah. Well, it would have been brand new at the time.
Yeah,
2002.
Yeah. It says
then, like their backup prize was a mountain bike, a BMW mountain bike. That was the first prize.
Oh, bastards. Something better than that, shit. But no, it was like, so only 250 people solved the puzzle.
Yeah. Kind of cool that they hid this little puzzle piece in there, you know, and gave away something smart. Good marketing.
Right. And it was a couple from Bellingham, Washington. Sounds like they can afford to go to fucking Vegas whenever they want to, right?
True.
But it says the first prize was a BMW Q3.S mountain bike.
Which is probably a really expensive mountain bike, I'm sure.
Huh. Yeah, well, of course. It's got some BMW on it. Put Beats on a bike. You're going to outsell anything.
My bike's got Beats.
I got a Beats bike, man. So
then we go flash forward like 14 years to 2016.
It's crazy.
Right? And they decide they're going to put out another one of these. And man, this is really gets deep into a story pretty quick. And let's talk. I mean, obviously, it's got some cool people in it. Neil Blomkamp directed it.
So you go from 2002 to 2016.
Yeah, so the driver's a little bit older now.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah.
At least I did.
Well,
Clive Owen.
he even
didn't look the
says
same.
no. His face looked way different.
But this has John Bernthal in it. However the hell you say his name. Dakota Fanning. And this is kind of weird because it's about clones.
Yeah.
So basically,
in the Blomkamp style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just weird.
And I can't remember what the guy kept calling her. Was it a number?
Yeah, number 5.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's the last, basically, clone specimen that's left.
Because the police are raiding their place to get rid of all the clones because of the news stories that have been out.
Right.
Yeah, and that Vera Farmiga woman, the one that's in all the Conjuring movies and everything.
Yeah.
I
forgot she was in it.
Yeah, she was at the very end of it. But yeah, you get to see really good everything in this movie too. The chases were awesome.
Absolutely.
Everything was badass.
And basically, like, John Bernthal was like the head of their little military group for the company.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm riding with you. So it's like him and the driver and then Dakota Fanning's character in the back.
And he's a dick.
He's a total douche to her and to everybody else. And she even says, my name's Lily.
Yeah.
And then, of
what's
course,
your name? Lily.
I think he tells him to stop or go or something. He doesn't do it.
Well, he stops the car.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And then he immediately he ditches their support.
Support, that's what it was.
He ditches them because they're running interference for everything. He ditches them, gets one to flip over, another one hits something, and then the cops show up and start firing at them.
Right.
And then because John Bernthal pulls his sidearm, and like Clive Owen's like, kick, gotcha. And he's like, all right,
he just
man.
takes it away from him.
Yeah,
and has it,
like very easily
because he's the driver.
Yeah, because he's badass.
Yeah,
but he's older. And and then they kind of get into that little deal, and Bernthal gets on a helicopter again, and they start firing from a helicopter. And he's a damn good shot.
Yeah.
That was really cool how, like, if that dude was that badass, he would be a good shot. He wouldn't be just, like, missing stuff.
Right,
you know what I mean? So they get into that deal where they're going beside the truck and everything like that, and Bernthal's like, get it. And he knocks the truck down and it slides under the overpass. Can't do nothing. And then he hooks onto it after he jumps onto the roof. Mm-hmm. And, of course, you get to see the power of the BMW.
As it pulls a helicopter into a bridge.
Correct. It's just pulling it back, is not taking any chances, and Bernthal's already falling on the ground and stuff.
Right.
And then it explodes.
Yes.
And Bernthal gets his gun, starts firing again. And they do finally get away. You know, I always thought he was going to run him over.
Oh, right.
You know, for that first couple of minutes, I was like, oh, he better run him over.
Well, how could he come back as the Punisher?
Well, exactly. But at the same time, it's like his greatest nemesis.
Yes.
Now
he has his Moriarty.
Yeah. Oh, my God. You're right.
And then, of course, at the end, he come to find out it's to the same geneticist, the lady that they're talking about at the beginning that disappeared.
Yeah.
He basically takes Lily to her.
Mm-hmm. That's who hired him.
Yeah. Come to find out. We didn't know that.
Yeah, we didn't know that, but yeah, he actually brings her there. Yeah. Neil Blomkamp can direct anything, in my opinion. He does a good job at everything that he's done so far.
Luke Besson actually said the transporter was based on The Hire.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
I didn't know that.
Wow. There was like comic books for this, dude.
Yeah, like, was it like 2015 or something like that? They were going to do comic books?
Well, they did some.
Like Dark Horse, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 2001. Or no, 2005 was the end of the distribution of The Hire on DVD, right?
2004 was when they were going to publish the 6-issue comic book limited series.
Yes, yeah, and I think they only got, 3 done?
4.
Yeah, so they didn't ever finish.
But they had some major talent on it. Kurt Busiek, Bruce Campbell, Atomo and Mark Wade. That's pretty impressive.
Crazy. Yeah. It would be cool to find these to see what it looked like. So, yeah, the other one you were talking about was Hammer and Coupe. That was the Mini, because BMW bought Mini, or where they are was part of it or something. Well, again, this movie was so, if you put it together in a full film, it's very hard to get the narration right. So it was really good in the 10 to 12 minutes. I think on average it
was about 10 minutes. Yeah, I think you're right.
Like 9 to 12 or 9 to 13. The last one was like 13 minutes, 14 minutes.
Right.
But just the love that they put into those movies to make them as good as they did and have all these other people in them. BMW was shelling out like AT&T money.
Yeah, and I would say if you're just gonna watch one of them, watch Beat the Devil.
Yes,
that was a really good episode.
Yeah, because you don't have to watch them in order.
No,
you really don't.
Nope.
The only one that you would probably watch after you watched all of them is the last one.
Because he's old.
Because he's an older dude.
I mean, he's not old.
Nah.
He's got a weird face now.
Yeah, he's not walking with a cane yet.
Nope.
But I mean,
Clive Owen's generally a badass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At this time too, didn't Clive Owen just do? Oh no, he did this afterwards. The movie Robert Rodriguez,
Sin City.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been 2005.
Yeah.
So yeah, would have been a couple years after his BMW hiring.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember him before that? Not as much.
But I thought he did a really good job in this. Wasn't he in? That was later though. Never mind.
No, he was in the Born Identity. 2001.
Children of Men. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes. King Arthur. That was his big breakout, I think.
Okay.
That was the one, because that movie is great too. Where he is actually Arthur, and this is kind of more of a not a traditional tale, but more of an accurate tale of what it would have been like, back then with all of the people there.
Right.
Which there's a lot of people that came out of that movie. One of the guys from the TV show Hannibal, which was married to Claire Danes.
Oh.
He was in it. Of course, you got that one really harsh British dude that's bald. That could he's got the yell that could kick anybody's ass, It was directed by Antoine Fuqua too.
Really?
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, watch that movie.
What was the name
again?
of it?
It's called King Arthur.
Just King Arthur?
Yeah.
What year?
2004. It has Keira Knightley in it too.
I think I remember watching that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one I thought was his really big breakout, awesome. He would have been a really good action star after that, Even the dude that played the Fantastic Four guy. I can't even say his name. Eon Griffold.
Oh, okay.
Griffold or
the guy that
whatnot.
played Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, Ray Winstone, Hugh Dancy, Stellan Skarsgård. There's a lot of people in that movie, and it was seriously awesome because this was the first introductions to Mads Mikkelsen too.
Yeah, I would say Sin City is probably the first thing I really was like, oh, Clive Owen.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him in almost anything before that. Maybe King Arthur, but Sin City was tremendous too. But yeah, I mean, Children of Men, he went on to have a pretty good, 5 to 7 year run of some really, really good movies. But then after that, just haven't really seen a lot. He was in Gemini Man, which I didn't really like that movie. Sorry.
I didn't watch it.
Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. I get about 5 minutes into that movie and it's too busy. It causes me anxiety.
I know my daughter was excited to watch that movie when it came out, but then it came out and we never watched it, so I never watched it. At any rate.
Yeah,
falling down the Clive Owen rabbit hole.
Yes. I would say, though, if you ever get a chance to sit down and watch these in a row, try to watch them in that row. I didn't even think about it until I was halfway through. I was like, oh, bet you there's a list. So really, you start off the series with Ambush, and then you go The Chosen. Number 3 is The Follow. Number 4 is Star, right?
Yes.
Hold on. Number 5 is Beat the Devil. No, it's not. No.
So it's the first season is Ambush, and then Chosen, The Follow, Star, and then Powder Keg.
Yeah.
And then season 2 was Hostage, Ticker, and then Beat the Devil. And then they had a season 3, which was like 14 years later, which was just one episode, The Escape.
The Escape. Yep. So,
but like you said, I don't think you necessarily have to watch them in order.
No.
What's really crazy about this is I had never heard of this, and about it had to have been a year ago.
When we were doing Ram LZ, huh?
I think it was a little bit before that.
I remember talking about it.
Yeah, and I kind of fell down this rabbit hole, and I was like, well, holy shit. Look at all these directors. Look at these actors. What is going on here?
Yeah.
And just a really interesting marketing ploy for a company and, making art at the same time, which is cool.
Yeah, they really brought in the guns, and they probably did really well. And now everybody else is kind of taking that deal. So you got to look at the 2 movies, of course. 3 movies. So of course you had the big influence that they had on it. Of course, The Transporter, right? Which they did like 5 of them, right?
Yeah, I have no idea. They did some. Yes.
Yeah, and that was Jason Statham really taking stride as far as like an action star. Then you had Drive. Which was this strong, silent type, just really well shot movie. Mm-hmm. And then, what was the other one that I was thinking of just now? Baby Driver.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, come on. They all dealt with the same thing. They all had their own code of ethics, which is just kind of crazy,
Absolutely.
And to have that template, him be the driver. So I guess he'll always be known for being the driver. I would think so.
I would think so as well.
But nobody really knows about it.
Well, now they do.
Now
I'm sure
do.
some people know about it, like car heads, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of buddies that are into that.
It'd be really cool to have a DVD of this,
Well, apparently there was a Vanity Fair released DVD because they did some cross thing with Vanity Fair when they did their announcement. But I think it came with their magazine or something. There was something, but they went through them real quick, and it was hard to find them after that.
But you can still probably get them on eBay.
I'm sure.
So they're like,
or you could just watch them for free on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Yeah,
and there's even a making of video out there.
Really?
Yeah, if you want to dig a little deeper into, I think it just goes into one episode or 2 of the episodes, like the making of behind the scenes, what's going on.
Oh, what they need to do is find somebody else that's like Clive Owen, kind of like the new generation, and then have him be the guy that's writing.
The writer?
Yeah. And then there's the driver. And he's taking over his mantle. He's like, that'll do, kid.
And then at the very end, he puts an Uber sticker up in his window.
Yeah, he's like, thank you very much, Mr. Driver. And then he drives away. He's like, okay, I'm on to my next pickup.
Got my Lyft sticker in the window.
Lyft, driver. It even says driver in it. That'd be weird. But yeah, if you get a chance, definitely.
Yeah, definitely worth the watch.
Especially
higher, if you're into cars and that kind of, guns, lots of,
even if you like James Bond,
that kind of stuff, sure.
Yeah, because James Bond really brings the car stuff or vehicle stuff, even when he, quadruple gainers the boat and stuff.
But I would say even if you're a fan of cinematography,
yes,
because these are nice little 10-minute buckets, and you can really see the difference between, let's say, a John Woo style and a anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A Guy Ritchie style or whoever, you can really sense the vibe from those directors, and you get that when you watch their movies as well.
What I'm wondering, and I'll put this out to you, dear listener, if you know of any other ad campaigns that were like this afterwards or even before they even got into that, I'd definitely like to look into that piece of drop culture.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I know that they've had things like the Where's the Beef Lady and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But something like this, it was actually put out and well done.
80 minutes of a movie or show by
it's an anthology.
Great directors.
Yeah.
Yeah, just insane, dude.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. I think it's just really cool. I'm glad I watched them. I thought they were... I'd give them a 7 BMWs out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
Yeah, I would say it depends on the episode for me.
Yeah. All together, nice narrative. And dang, do I want to drive a BMW now? It's the ultimate driving machine.
It's also the most high-priced vehicle to own year after year for maintenance. So
Repairs.
more than a Mercedes. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. So, if you've enjoyed what you heard, go back into the archives. We got tons of different stuff about drop culture. This month is all Christmas. So, except for this.
Yeah, except for this little nugget.
You never know when it's going to come out, but, I'm telling you, watch these movies, enjoy them, send us your thoughts, prayers, whatever. And if this is the last episode you listen to before Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks to everybody out there for listening, and watch The Hire, the BMW short film series starring Clive Owen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Look us up on all the socials, droppedculture.com.
Yeah. Just put Drop Culture in. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like you said, dropculture.com. You can send us an email to dropculturepodcast@gmail.com.
We're always there.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the internet. You're always there.
Until it's not. And then
Hyperconnection.
everything's over.
All right, later.
Peace.
Hi, you need to pull over. Thank you.